Well, here we are, friends, coming up to 3 months after those events on that weekend in December when our lives were sent on another journey, and certainly many of us are battling along to keep the day job going and deal with thousands of interactions, it seems, with the insurers, the loss adjusters, the builders. It seems never ending, but I did want to say we have formed the executive committee of the Flood Action Group. Some of you volunteered after that brilliant last meeting, and it's meant we've been able to sit down together and think about what's really important. What can we do as a very large community of what I call refugees, people who are now all over the city and district. Rachel, Luke, Laura and I are in Brampton, getting to know the folks there, and none of it is ideal, is it? It's you know, some of us are very in cramped conditions and it adds pressure on, but the good news is that we are thinking about how we take agencies on. We've spoken to people like Rory Stewart's group. We're talking to experts, academics. I met on Monday morning with a group of academics, and I've asked if we can form a research group that includes mental health, disaster management, people who for years have been talking about upstream natural defence systems, and I foolishly said, aren't some of these ideas innovative? And they sort of held their head in their hands and looked at me and said, these are not innovative, Steve. We've been talking about these issues for years, but no one's been listening. So there's lots of good things going on that I think will be part of our message to government. But we do want to get together and put all of these things in a meeting. I'm quite interested in the idea of us surveying how the different agencies and companies are doing. We're dealing with insurance companies who have a responsibility to us, and central government and local government. So one of the ideas for our next meeting is that we do a survey. We identify those that are doing well, who are giving excellent service quality, as they should, as a minimum, and we maybe think of the Flood Action Group Awards. But we also identify those people who are making our life hell and are just not stepping up, whether it's just poor communication, the inability to get a reasonable and decent answer, or people are acting almost like sort of demigods, saying you can have this and then 2 months later changing their mind without informing us. Just the misery of not giving good quality. And in 2016 I don't understand it, and I'm feel very strongly that we should identify those agencies that are not responding to us, are not listening, and tell them together. And you know, I talk to some agencies, I send them emails, I phone them, hear nothing from them, and I can't understand that. Partly fear, partly disorganisation, poor leadership. But we need to come together and give a fair assessment of how people are helping us. So please do put the Monday 4th April Crown Mitre again into your diaries, and make sure that you're able to attend that. The only reason, it is the only reason we'll get listened to, is if we turn up in numbers. We'll spend the evening together identifying the key areas that we as a group need to put in place. We will report on how the executive committee has constituted itself into a community group, a proper body, and how that body is going to go to government and local government and say, this is what the people want. So it's about the community group channeling the real issues, so we can make sure that we develop the very best and effective defence system for the city, and also make sure that the restoring of our properties is done in the right way. So there's those two streams of action that we need to develop, making sure we get back into our homes effectively, people who are suffering, who have been missed out on the margins, are included in our report together, the People's Report, and then we need to say this is the scheme we're backing. We need to identify the scheme. We've got some great work by people like John Kelsall, identifying with me and Diane and the rest of the group really what we think are the appropriate defence systems to get behind and support and say this is what we want. We don't want token action. We don't want people, the Environment Agency, to run around and do things just to appear active. We want a complete and effective system. You know, there are differences between the success at Pickering and the Carlisle catchment areas. Experts say, well, the land there is at a different angle to the fall of the land in the Three River catchments that feed into the Eden here. So we've got to be careful what we press for. So we've got to be smart, but we've got to be forceful, and that's why please ring fence that date. I know it's a bit later than we wanted, but of course Easter is in the way, and some of you, I hope, will get some break from the constancy of this period. So hopefully you'll all be back, and that date will be ideal for you. So let's get together. If you need to get in touch with me and suggest your ideas, please do that. I think dialogue is the thing that's going to get us to where we want to go. My number is 075 44 581 601. That's 075 44 581 601. You know, give me a buzz. I'm often around and about, and certainly helps me when you phone and we talk, because I think even the strongest people have their real moments through this experience. I think no one can underestimate the pressure this puts on, and so please do share your ideas, either phone or email Stephen.Gibbs, I beg your pardon, Stephen Gibbs 18, Stephen Gibbs, no dot, Stephen Gibbs 18 at gmail.com, Stephen with a PH, and drop me a line. As I say, you know, it's incredibly helpful to hear your thoughts. It's funny, isn't it, that when you talk to people, some of your neighbours who are not going through this, it's a very bizarre experience. We're going through the sort of valley of hell at times, trying to put this house back together, and others just don't get it, do they? It's one of those things. If you've not been through this, hence we do need to keep talking with each other, and I'm a great believer in that will, talking to everybody, being very honest, being very straight, you know, saying to those agencies that you're not responding. There are some agencies who haven't got the basic courtesy to get back, and it doesn't work. It makes life hellish when you don't have paid professionals prepared to respond intelligently, and we have to be straight with them and make sure that they change their stance, or they offer us better help and put us on to people who can help us. So it's important again that you're there on that Monday, and we come away with some very good messages to put across. So it's been great to chat with you, and as I say, do get in touch if you want to talk about anything. But in the meantime, wishing that your homes will be dry very soon and the work can get going. Speak to you soon.